Lumos Maxima.
The Yule Ball is first and foremost a dance.
You're the chosen one, Harry.
Harry Potter!
There will be no foolish wand-waving or silly incantations in this class. Clearly, fame isn't everything.
It is not in the nature of a Dementor to be forgiving. But you know, happiness can be found even in the darkest of times. If one only remembers to turn on the light.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Nothing gives a student the right to walk about the school. All four of you will receive detention. Silence!
One of the most important steps in making a decision using the 8-step process is coming up with an alternative that better suits the appeal of the goal. Harry knew that having a Winter Wonderland themed Yule Ball would be a great alternative for this original theme of a 70s party. He didn't want something cliche, and he knew that Winter Wonderland would be ideal because his classmates would have a better chance of enjoying themselves. As for my conclusion on management, it is a lot more than meets the eye. There are many decisions that a manager has to make. Being a manager and a boss are two different things. When making decisions that would be best for the company as a whole, management truly comes into play. Strategic implementation can be done by a manager who understands the importance of group work. Management starts with creating an objective or goal and then finding out the best strategy to meet that goal. Management is much more than just a class. It applies to every area of life, whether it is personally, academically, or at work. The planning process is vital in business to make sure tasks are getting done and profits are being made. However, it is also important when planning a simple event like a birthday party or something big like a wedding. For Harry, learning how to plan helped him get things done in a timely manner. He knew that he could not lead his committee if he did not have a plan. Analyzing the situation and accurately assessing yourself proves to lead to success as it gives the most opportunities to seize. When you have a clear focus and goal, you will reach it and much more quickly be flexible to accomplish more. Management means helping people accomplish a common goal versus having an iron fist rule. When you are able to understand the reasons for people's behavior and responses, managing becomes much easier. A leader is not someone who commands people to do a task, but someone who helps show and direct people to accomplish a goal. Encouraging and motivating employees leads to success because attitude is everything. Even with our project, when we were tired and did not really want to work on it, our work tended to not be as good as before. Having the right attitude makes all the difference.
In our episode 4 of our TV series, we used the concepts of management in the section called planning. This episode was about Harry trying to figure out what was the best plan to come up with in order to even start planning the Yule Ball. He goes and meets with Professor Dumbledore in his office, who gives him wisdom and counsel on how to plan and what's the best action to take with his committee. So, what is planning? And I'll give you some time to read the options and give it a guess. What do you think is planning? Well, the answer is C, thinking and organizing in advance to reach a goal. And we learned that this semester in our Principles of Management class, and we learned how important planning is. And so, how did this concept really apply to Harry Potter? And how did we use that in our episode? Well, we talked about the SWOT analysis, which is what we learned about strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And so Harry goes through this analysis with Professor Dumbledore about what his committee's strengths and weaknesses are, and what are the opportunities and threats that the Yule Ball has compared to other events that are going to go on throughout the year. It's really applicable even in our lives as we plan events pretty much all the time if we're in student organizations or just life with planning birthday parties or weddings or any kind of other event. And again, SWOT analysis, strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats. Then we also in that episode went over the stages of process and how to plan. How first it's conceptual, and it's the formulation of the plan and the process that you're going to go about. And that includes that analysis, the SWOT analysis. And then the next step is action, implementation of the plan. And finally, it's about monitoring and evaluating how the plan went. And so Professor Dumbledore talks with Harry about this and what are the most difficult things to do and how he can really implement it. And so Harry ends up meeting back up with his committee and really helping them. And then Professor Dumbledore also talks about the benefits. And so Harry ends up creating different committees within the dance committee, and how each one will compete, and that'll motivate them, and also get have internal deadlines. And on top of that, the benefits of planning, Professor Dumbledore tells him that it gives you direction and it minimizes waste, and also helps you become more efficient and flexible if things end up changing. And so in the end, not at the end of episode 4, but in the end of our TV series, Harry Potter plans a wonderful and successful Yule Ball.
This video talks about reflections and future recommendations. This is by Group 2, The Squad, and our theme, Hogwarts, the Wizarding World of Management. One member of our group reflected by saying, "This management project truly stretched me both academically and personally as I learned to be a better manager and student. Being the first class I ever took online and being so interactive with other students, the class was definitely challenging. I would have to say coordinating a semester-long project with students online was one of the most difficult school assignments. It was worth it though because I learned how much I could accomplish with a team, and it showed me specifically areas I can improve to better manage my time, the team, and assignments. In the end, I am proud of how things turned out, and that this class taught me valuable life lessons." Another member reflected by saying, "After doing this project, it surprised me just how much I learned from it. Having to work with people that I had never met forced me to put out extra effort to communicate properly and effectively. Thinking of creative ways to describe management through this project's activities made it quite interesting. I actually learned a lot, more than I thought I would about management itself. Do not underestimate the power of creativity in projects. I think overall, all group members gained a lot from the experience and learned a lot about management." Recommendations for future students include: communicate early and often with group members, complete as much as you can early on, don't wait until the last minute to complete assignments, Develop a theme that all of your group members are interested in. Designate tasks for each group member from the beginning. That way, everyone can be held responsible for their own milestone or task. Go out of your comfort zone, be creative, and take initiative. Then, the final project will be a success. Try to apply the lectured material to your life, and it will stick with you. When working on the project, plan, and communicate with everyone. Communication is a two-way street. If no understanding has taken place, then communication has not occurred. We want to thank you very much.
Mischief managed.